Welcome to MWEB's Entrepreneur Zone. Today I've got Nils Hansen with me from Woodstock CycleWorks. Welcome, Nils.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about your business.
Running almost 3 years now. Very excited for what I suppose they call the 1,000 days of trading. I think it's coming up soon. Started out of a passionate decision to become my own boss, I suppose. We're discussing that with my stepfather, and we said, what could I do that I could become my own boss? I was willing to sell ice. I was becoming a garden service, and the passion for bicycles kind of related a bit more than anything else. So I decided that it was the right time to open a bicycle shop. So that's how I kind of started.
And you're not a traditional bicycle shop?
Definitely not. We specialise in the restoration, customisation of older classic steel frames, things out there what our parents or our grandparents would have had in the 60s and 70s. There's a movement towards taking these old bikes, refurbishing them, making them into modern commuters, actually. So people are also using them as a bit of a stylistic expressionism on taking an old frame, choosing colours, choosing wheels, choosing certain styles of bars, and commuting to work. So we've taken that on and we're doing pretty well with it. We're also using them as a bit of a stylistic expressionism on taking an old frame, choosing colours, choosing wheels, choosing certain styles of bars, and commuting to work. So we've taken that on and we're doing pretty well with it.
And your business model, is it mainly in restoration or is it in purchasing and selling?
It's at the moment we're deciding where we should go. We do a lot of retail in terms of the bare essentials. We sell a lot of common accessories like tires and tubes and pumps and helmets. But we also sell a lot of used or second-hand bicycles that are well priced in relation to going out and buying a new bike. They range almost like you can easily spend a good 10,000 Rand on an entry-level bike nowadays. So we're hitting a market where people are considering riding. They don't really need to invest 10,000 Rand, but they can invest 2,000 or 3,000 Rand. So we're selling a lot of those types of bikes. We are getting a bit more into new bikes. It would be entry level. Like I say, people they see the potential in maybe just investing a bit more and buying a new bike. So yeah, we're versatile. We cover all the basics.
And chatting earlier, you were talking about how important it is, your relationship with the customer. Tell us more about that service.
I think we offer a fairly different service. It's a small shop. When clients come in, they deal almost directly with me. So you have that kind of relationship where you know you're going to be investing in a shop or in a product, but it almost benefits the owner of that shop. I've felt it to work very well. You have like a bit of a bond with your clients in the end. You text them in the evening asking them how the ride was or how the bicycle was or how was the race that they did on the weekend, was the bike up to scratch. It's just a much better type of environment than oh no, these guys did a bad job, or I'm really unhappy with these guys, I'm going to complain about it. We have it's a good friendship with my customers, and I applaud that. That's what I've always wanted. We speak like friends. Yes, I take their money, sometimes unwillingly, I suppose, but they appreciate it. So that's what we kind of have.
And you've built your reputation on this service. How did you first get your name out there? Because it's a competitive market that you're in.
I was very lucky, I suppose. I chose to style the shop in a very different way from the beginning. It was more of a gallery type of space, so I chose to display rather less than more. I had very few bikes in the shop, very few items. It wasn't very cluttered. As you walked in, you really stopped and looked at individual bicycles for what they were. It slowly changed because I've had to fit more bikes in.
And did you find people coming to the shop as a destination?
So we got quite a lot of publicity early on from, say, design magazines. We had Visi, we had all these kind of magazines getting involved, and people were seeing these news articles and thinking, sure, this is a really different take on a bicycle shop, more of a European feel, if I can say that. It became a destination spot just because of its looks. Slowly, as people became to invest into the shop, I think more of my persona came across, and the service aspect became more well known. Took over from that initial design kind of destination spot.
How do you deal with clients? I mean, a lot of it is about servicing the bicycles and restoring them. And how do you deal with making sure that the service that you provide is what they're expecting, or the product that they get out in the end is what they're expecting?
I think it comes down to simple communication. I mean, it's best left talking with your customer, explaining things, educating them on what's wrong or what needs to be done. The more they understand about the situation, the more they almost appreciate that involvement.
Nils, one of the revenue streams that you've been able to generate is through doing stuff for some of the stores and shop fitting. Tell us a bit about that.
As I think the trend towards bicycles and cycling becomes more common, I've got a lot of inquiries from big, I wouldn't say mass market brands, but guys looking to use bicycles or cycling as in a shop fitting, or in terms of its stylistic appeal. So we've been able to do, I mean, for example, tomorrow I'm doing 7 bikes for I don't know if I can mention it, but for Coke Light. They seem to have found me, and like I talked about earlier, I've become known for doing specifics like that. So it's a complete niche thing for me, but it generates lots of money for me.
And that's out of the restoration process.
Yes, yeah. And customization. So people want to, they cannot go to a mass market bicycle shop and buy what they need. So they need it in specific colors, tuned for their needs, and that's what we offer.
And now this is something that you're very passionate about. How do you instill in the people that work for you that same passion and commitment to getting the look and feel right?
I think, I mean, we share a very small space. The shop is quite small, so it almost comes out naturally. I wouldn't say we're on top of each other, but we're so close that my hand is his hand and everything like that. So it really comes quite naturally. I have staff and I have friends that work for me that are like-minded people. So we really do share the same common interests. I don't see them as employees, but more as friends, which is quite dangerous sometimes. But it really seems to work for us. We at the end of the day, we all leave very happy with what we've done, and I'm very happy with what they've done.
Your business is a combination of retail and art and cycling. It's quite an interesting mix of elements. What drew you to it?
I suppose it was necessity in the end for making a living for myself, but I chose to do it slightly different. So adding a bit of design, I had studied product design at Cape Tech, so I had a slight advantage in terms of product and making product tangible and making a profit off of it. I studied a bit of engineering, so I had a bit of engineering in terms of bicycle customization. The technical side of things I've never really struggled with. Making a profit out of it was quite easy for me, I suppose.
With the restoring of pieces, do they become collector's items? Do you find people that are aficionados?
I had a great story today of a customer that he shipped the bike 4,000 kilometers to us to actually restore. He bought it in a market in Kinshasa, actually, and it's an old Italian racer. There's a bit of history towards it. It was shipped here through boat and train and then in the air. So we try and build on those stories. They do increase in value, I would say. We are at the bottom of Africa, so we just don't get European prices, unfortunately. Yeah. A lot of the goods that I have for sale, collectible parts, are actually worth quite a lot of money, but you just don't fetch them in Africa, unfortunately.
And where do you source them from?
It's just accumulation, I suppose. We have a lot of donations from people that don't use the parts anymore, or we've taken bikes and simplified them, so we've had all the parts left over to kind of keep. It's insane. I have from a shop of 40 squares, I now have 200 squares, and it's up to the roof and stuff. So if I can sell it, I'll be a very rich man.
Road cycling appears to be growing in popularity. We see road cyclists all over the show, but your niche, which is almost a lifestyle choice aimed at a hipster market, for want of a better term, is that growing? What's that driven by?
I think Cape Town lends itself to a more cycling-orientated community, I suppose. The CBD is not that big. We have high congestion. We have a limited number of parking bays. People are seeing the benefit of commuting to work. Again, there's a European trend towards that, and it's still growing, funny enough. movements like the Moonlight Mass Ride, every full moon night of the month. We have a critical mass ride, which is the last Friday of each month. All these movements are slowly gathering, well, not slowly, actually, greatly gathering popularity. In high summer last year, I think we had 3,000 people at the Moonlight Mass Ride. I mean, it's astronomical. The roads were 10 kilometers long with cyclists. It would be nice if those people then the next day would actually commute to work instead of just using it as a evening out. But look, it definitely is growing. I have my shop sits on the main road in Woodstock, so I can see almost every single commuter come past. And really, in the past 3 years, it really has grown.
So your business has been going 3 years now?
3 years.
What's next for you?
Like I said earlier, I think we're running out of space, so I'm slowly thinking that I'll have to move. It's quite a big scare for me because like you said earlier, it has become a slight destination spot. But I think with growth, you kind of have to make the calculations and take the plunge to move. So that's that. And so like I said earlier, there are loads of markets that are kind of opening up. So it's quite exciting. So I need to really fine-tune my little business into something exciting for the future, I suppose.
Nils, thank you. That brings us on to the rapid-fire questions. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Support your friends so they can support you.
And your best moment as an entrepreneur?
Having Coldplay film some of their music video in my shop and meeting Coldplay.
And what's your biggest mistake?
I haven't had a big one yet.
What do you look for in people that you work with?
Common interests, common likes.
And what does an entrepreneur need to succeed?
Drive and the will to make a profit, I would say.
What's your biggest inspiration as a small business owner?
I think other business owners.
What would you do differently?
Nothing so far, I think.
What makes South Africa a great place to be a small business owner?
We have good customers and loyal clients.
What keeps you awake at night?
Answering emails and quotes.
And what gets you going in the morning?
A coffee and a ride to work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you. We look forward to the coming weeks. We will bring you further South African entrepreneurs. I'm Paul Hobden. Thank you and goodbye.